Cody Broberg, I read your comment. You're on this with us. I feel one of these hangouts you should step back from this. Maybe do a painting for us. A little Bob Ross style. Yeah. And I went to school to paint, so I learn by watching others. Best way to learn is by doing it. Yes, one day I will do that. I've been talking about that with my daughters. It's this time again, folks. Oh, it's going to be a good one. Flawless Victory 4. Number 4. The first one was deleted by YouTube. But this is Flawless Victory number 4. First, we're going to look at the most sophisticated, technologically advanced head-up display. Watch your screen attentively. It's in slow-mo. That's the plane that has it installed. Oh, wait a second. That isn't a plane. It's not a plane, it's Iron Man. It looks very real. It's flying over the globe Earth. Very, very real. Because you can see it, so it must be real. Instead, this is actually real. This thing that you're seeing. You see, the Wolfie 6020s of the world, they think that this, which is a real thing that had real photos taken of it, went to the moon. That's right. They've looked at this. At first, the brain would have gone, that looks a bit crappy. Right? And another part of the brain said, oh, shut up, you. It's NASA. You might notice off to the left, there's a little lonely white light. Well, don't think about that white light. And if you look down, there's a little lonely blue light. Well, don't think about that blue light either. No. This is real. The guys that we're arguing against think that this thing went to the moon. That light in the sky, they think it went to that thing. That's right. Like, really. So, they really can't. So, when faced with reality, and reality doesn't match with, well, the rest of reality, like, for instance, this thing wouldn't survive very long underwater. You know, at a depth of any kind of depth, with, like, pressure. If it was pressurized inside and you took it underwater, how soon before it would just crumple, you know, from the pressure? Well, now invert that. Put the pressure inside and put it in the vacuum of space. See, this is a crappy thing. This was made because they knew that they were going to be videoing and degrading the image quality. That's why it was black and white. Remember, it was black and white. So, they would degrade the image quality and you wouldn't see any of these details. Later, much later, when it was time for the flat earth stuff to be rolled out so people could start actually looking at the world, analysing and positing new ideas because they were stuck with their globe thinking, there's only so far they can take it, they actually need some real ideas and some real science, so they roll out the flat earth. And now loads of flat earthers engaging and passing information to and fro. So they released these photos so people could go, geez, okay, I get it. So the whole globe thing, moon, space, all of that is all just fabricated. Yes, that's right. But at the same time as there are the discerning minds thinking analytically and critically, you have the dopes of the world. The people who still use fluoride toothpaste because they've used it all their life, whether or not they've got cavities whilst using it, never mind that, they still use it because fluoride's good for you. It's said so at school. I saw a thing. So they still use fluoride. So even when seeing this piece of shit, their fluoride brain says, yeah, probably be fine if it went to the moon. So when faced with something like this, which is in Where's Wally's video, by the way, okay, just watch. When faced with something like this, they go, yeah, that's definitely true, because it looks true. Just keep watching. You're going to see a rocket launch. See that slightly reddish light? See that light that's incongruous with the rest of the lights? That's a rocket launching. That's right. See that contact lens shaped thing? That must be the ionosphere or something. I don't know. But, it must have just gone through that or something. I don't know. And this is all definitely real because, well, you can see it. Even though the parallax with the stars is wrong. I mean, they've just got it wrong. Unless those stars are on a very close nearby, cover, the parallax is a bit wrong. But never mind that. You see, the parallax should be much slower. Let me just tell you something, okay, from the artist's point of view. The parallax of the stars, globe links, should be slower. That's the motion of the stars should be slower than the motion of the lights on the Earth. Watch. The clouds and all of those things. Can you see how the stars are moving much faster than the clouds? But it's like, wait a second, don't you understand tangents? Don't you understand tangents? Don't you understand how those lights on the surface of that globe Earth are scrolling, but the stars are moving fast? Oh, you just don't understand reality very well. I'm going to play that again. It's fantastic. They actually think this is real. That's why I showed Iron Man. Looks pretty real. There he is, there. Iron Man. I should have done that, damn it. See, there's Iron Man. Definitely real, because this is ESA. In fact, I'm going to rewind. I'm going to pretend like this is what I did. Look, let's just rewind. Because, look. So, horizon lock. Did you see that? Horizon lock. Let me just take it back so you can see. Horizon lock. Okay, watch. Horizon lock. Brilliant. Horizon lock. You're flying very fast. Flying, turning, and watch. Is flying around. And is a flying. And he's a flying. Keep watching. Keep watching. And now he flies faster and up. And now we see it from the ESA. Watch. See, there he is. Little red thing. Watch. It says ESA, so it's definitely real. See, that's Iron Man. Yeah, it's Iron Man. Oh, something happened. Maybe he needed to vent. Definitely real. Because Where's Wally showed it in his video. Oh, look at that flashing. That's Iron Man going back. See? Definitely real, because Where's Wally showed it. The guy who thinks they went to the moon in this, remember? Now, let's move on to some more Horizon HUD. So, let's look at this footage. If you look to the right, looks like there's rather a lot of drop. If you look to the left, looks like no. Maybe there's cloud on the left and not cloud on the right, and the horizon is just further out that way. Maybe, I don't know. But look, okay, so this plane is at 27, just under 28,000 feet. Very little drop. Let's look, and that's not Wolfies. Look, this is G450 HUD view of level off at flight level 280, or whatever those stand for. Okay, right, now. Dun, dun, dun. Here's Wolfie's footage, 38,000 feet. Here's the previous footage. Here's Wolfie's footage. Here's the previous footage, 28,000 feet. Here's 10,000 feet higher. Ho-ho! Now, if you've paid attention to what Wolfie's been trying to teach the world, you'll notice this thing over on the left that looks like a well, it's a circle with a crosshairs with the bottom part missing. A circle within a circle. Over there, you can see it just to the left of that dash, that line in the center. That's just below the horizon. You know what that means? It means that's where the plane is going to head. It's going to head until that thing is centered with that horizon line. It means that this plane is ever so slightly pitched down. And as it continues to drop in elevation, that sign, which is telling you that's your projected heading, you want to catch your display up with that. That's right, that's Wolfie Explains. So, this plane is slightly nosing down ever so slightly so it can catch up with that thing. See? That thing there. Right. Now go to the previous one. See how that thing is right in the centre? That's what I'm talking about. Okay? That's pretty level. And in Wolfie's, it's below. Must be angled down ever so slightly, maybe? I don't know. Trying to get level, I don't know. It's just probably trying to get level. Apparently, if any of you have bothered looking at the... By the way, is it me or am I seeing a line that's well above that horizon line that's pretty straight? Must be cloud or some other type, even farther away. A difference in the blue? But anyway, according to the wolf pack, ow! That's what they do when they see each other, see? They go, ow! And if Wolfie ever turns up, Where's Wally goes, hi Wolfie, hi. Anyway, according to those guys, this is showing the curvature of the Earth. That's right, including critical think. And Where's Wally? What you're seeing here is curvature. That's right. Now, on this one, the curvature's only on the right. See? There's only curvature on the right. Must be a wedge world. But this one, there's distinct curvature. Even though Neil deGrasse Tyson says you can't see it at 127,000 feet, from 48 you can. That's right. That's right. Or 38. From 38 you can. From 38 you can see it, but as you go higher and higher, then you can't see it. It must work like that for people who think that, well, this went to the moon. So, we'll now look at this footage. More horizon footage, or the horizon drops from a level. Like, you don't understand level because you think you're on a sphere. You don't understand level. For level, you need the concept of a plane. You can't have level on a curve. It's not level, see? Now, here we have Wolfie's footage. Here we have some previous footage from Wolfie. We're going to look at this footage. You see, lots of the people, when I compared yesterday, said, big drop, little drop. There's clouds, no clouds. Okay, so we're now going to compare no clouds with more no clouds from Wolfie's own cache of information. See, we have a bank of cloud there, but under that bank of cloud, we have, well, no cloud, just spherical Earth horizon rolling away from us. You might want to look over on the right, where you can kind of slightly see the elevation, and see how far below that the horizon is. And then you might want to compare with this footage. Oh dear. You see, no clouds at the horizon, no clouds. Clouds above the horizon. Quite how that works with this globe Earth is a very interesting thing. But horizon made below the cloud bank. Horizon. You can see features on down at the bottom of the screen, which tells you, well, no clouds. Okay, so no clouds. Here, no clouds. That's just terrain. That bright green part at the bottom of the screen, bottom half of the HUD, that's terrain. That's not cloud. So, let's look at the drop. We'll use these segments as if they were degrees. They're not degrees, but we'll use them as if they were. Okay, we'll count from the little arrow, and there's 1, 2, 3, just under 4 to the horizon. That's the bar on the right. Just under 4 to the horizon. And on this one, it's, well, let's see, 1, 2, just over 2 to the horizon. That's interesting. 43,000 feet versus, well, 45,000 feet. That's interesting. Just under 4 versus just over 2. Same HUD display. Scratch that display that I just said, because D is display. Don't want to say head-up display. See, just over 2 versus just under 4. Good Lord. Is your globe Earth pointy, where some places there's a more rakish angle to the horizon? Is that what it is? True story. Look, just compare 43,000 feet, right? 45,000 feet. That's only 2,000 feet more. Let's count the segments from the little pointy. Right, 1, 2, 3, just under 4. Count the other one. Well, much easier. 1, 2, just over 2. Huh? That's interesting. So let's watch some of this footage. It's very interesting. I'm going to mute it and just play some of it. Oh, he's explaining heading and things, and it's very good. Thank you, Wolfie. Very informative. He's explaining when that circle is inside the other circle, that's when you've reached your complete absolute heading that you want to reach, and Very good. Let's move ahead. And let's move ahead again, because he does a lot of slow talking, because people need slow talking or they don't understand. And some more. And move forward. Okay, here we are. Level. Here we can count. Let's see. 1, 2, 2.5. Let's compare. So 1. You can't quite see the first one because it's in a very bright area. So, but this 1, 2, 3, just under 4. Okay, so let's continue, because the moon makes an appearance on this and it's gone unaddressed. So I'm going to ask Wolfie to address it, please. For like the 7th or 8th time. Moving, because he saw the moon. Haha, I'm going to catch the moon. I'm gonna bomb the moon. That's what he said. True story. Not really, but obviously. There's the moon. Ooh, 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 ooh. Now, can you see how the moon has got a tiny little bit of illumination directly underneath it? Well, that's not being projected by the HUD. The HUD doesn't predict and project the features from the outside, like, say, the moon and some illumination in what looks like cloud. That's right, it looks like it's illuminating on some, well, cloud that's much too distant for the HUD to be concerned about. But we'll look at this much too distant thing in a minute with J. Toller Media. So see, underneath the moon, there's a little bit of illumination. Here, let me make it bigger. See that little bit of illumination under the moon? That's what I'm talking about. See? Little bit of illumination. Look at that illumination making its way across. It's very interesting. Like I said, it remains unaddressed by Wolfie. It looks like it's reflecting on something, either that or for some reason the HUD is projecting the moon, except it's projecting it out of line, in which case your HUD is broken. Can't project it out of line, that's wrong. So, there's the moon, and by the way, you might notice there's some banding above that horizon that we were counting to. There's another band. Maybe the horizon is that other band. Or maybe, no, now he moves away to something else. Okay, so here we are. Now he's chasing the moon, and then he's getting back to his route, because obviously you can't just change your route to say, guys, I know we were going to go to New Zealand, but I've decided to chase the moon. Because the guys that you're flying, your bosses, they're going to say, no, I want to go to Auckland. I have a dinner date, I say. So you see that reflection of the moon on something. It looks like that something must be kind of local, and that specific spectre of the moon is also local. It's interesting. And for those of you who say, oh, no, that, you see, this is brilliant. For those who say, no, what it is that apparent illumination very close to the moon is the HUD projecting the moon onto the display just slightly out of line with the moon. Well, you have to explain why it's not crescent shaped, the thing that the HUD is projecting. See? It's not crescent shaped. It's like this light falling onto something that has contours, sometimes more flat, sometimes more concave, sometimes more convex. A bit like maybe cloud. I don't know. But let's continue. Good gosh, it looks like, yes, so he cuts away to this. Thank you very much. We do count the degrees, and we can compare them with this degrees a lot more. Sorry, dude. Your own footage. Now, I will go back and say, Wolfie 6020, address the illumination next to the moon and show why that illumination changes shape. Okay? You see, the illumination changes shape. And going back slowly, just one frame at a time, and you can see that, well, it changes shape. And you can go back to the point where it's a horizontal little dash. Okay? It's changing shape. Okay. Address that, Wolfie, or you will appear to your followers like a quack. Now, let's move on from that to this. What's this? Baja California and Sierra Cortez in infrared from 200 to 500 miles HD 1080. Gonna watch some of it. I've not muted it, but I will mute it. Just gonna watch whenever it decides to play. Oh, here we go. Playing. Infrared footage. Interestingly, when you're filming and you have a horizon and you then switch over to infrared, if you don't move your camera, interesting, the horizon extends the only way it possibly can, which is higher on the frame. That's right. It can't extend some other way, you know. It extends by, well, going higher on the frame, like higher up on the screen. Now, for the dim-dims out there, like all of the globelings, if you understand horizon drop, oh, let's stop here. If you understand horizon drop and drop to target, okay, then you will understand that between you and the horizon, there's supposed to be a certain amount of drop. If there was an object at that horizon, well, the base of that object would be at that supposed drop. A more distant object would be at a bigger drop. There would be more degrees of drop to that more distant object, not less degrees. You understand? It would be even lower down than that horizontal line. So object at the horizon, farther away object would be lower than that horizon, not higher. What does the real world present? The opposite. According to your globe, horizon at this distance, but look at all of these other things higher up in the frame than the supposed distance of your horizon. That's interesting. Must be a camelback globe. So, if you care to watch this video, watch it all the way through. Pretty interesting. Cabo San Lucas, 680 miles. He's shown it in the video. Okay, I'm not going to stop and show it because it's kind of blurry. Well, I might. Let me see. Let's go back. It scrolls. And that's Baja California. You know that strange little tendril that hangs down from near Los Angeles, south of Los Angeles, hangs down, little jaggedy, barbed looking thing. It looks like a harpoon for hunting whales or seals. And he sees much too far. Not to mention, all of those objects should be, well, beyond the curvature. They're not. And not only are they not beyond the curvature, but they seem to be higher up with the distance within the field of view than your globe allows, including the Cabo. Okay, so let's move ahead to, where was it? Here. Cabo San Lucas, 680 miles away. What does the Earth curvature say? What does it say must be your minimum height for seeing an object that's 680 miles away over the curved Earth? What's your minimum height? Well, 300,000 feet to see a target 680 miles away. And the horizon would be 673 at 300,000 feet. Do you see? You would have to be 300,000 feet above the Earth to see what J. Toland Media sees through his camera. But he's not at 300,000 feet, which is higher than the ISS. He's not higher than the ISS. Do you understand? He's approximately 32,000 feet, something like that. That's interesting. But the curvature math says 300,000 feet will bring you close to an object, to seeing an object 680 miles away. It would allow you to see an object at the horizon, so the object would be at the horizon at 673 miles. But hello, that doesn't correlate with reality. You see, in reality, it's visible. In reality, it's visible from way below 300,000 feet. In reality, there are people who claim that this went to the moon. And in reality, there are people who believe that this went to the moon and who must believe that J. Toland Media is at 300,000 feet in order to see Cabo San Lucas around the curvature of the Earth. That's right, because the air density where he's flying, it's much lower than the air density where Cabo San Lucas is and the ground below. And the light doesn't bend away from heavy into lighter. Light doesn't curve from heavy into lighter. It curves from lighter into heavy, not the other way round. See? Interesting, huh? Do the math yourselves. Now, I'm going to wrap up, or at least wrap up this tiny little presentation. I might engage with the chat, don't know, with this footage. Because Globelings who take fluoride and who think that this went to the moon, and wait a second, that this is real. Actually, wait, I'm going to play this again. It's very good. It's, It's Iron Man leaving Earth's atmosphere. Look, can you see that red dot? That's Iron Man. We just saw Iron Man fly, wait. And in a minute, I will show you the Santa tracker again. Look, that's Iron Man. Look, I'll prove it to you. Up there, see? Iron Man. That's definitely Iron Man. That's not a plane. That's definitely Iron Man. Watch. He's going to fly by, well, whatever remote was filming this. You know, the kind of remotes that film satellites. So, and he's flying away. Look, see? Flying. See, look. And then he goes high. He goes up into the air. Not there. Here, see? And you can see him taking off. Watch. You see him taking off. Watch, see that little red dash? There you go. That's Iron Man. I just thought I'd mention, by the way, this is all supposed to be the dark side of the Earth. You know, with the sun not here, somewhere else, on the other side of the Earth, away. It's a lot of light on this side of the Earth that doesn't have sunlight, don't you think? Now, I wonder if anybody will take this footage and then take other ISS footage and compare the two and go, that's interesting. They only started adding this atmospheric layer recently. That's right. But the guys who think that this went to the moon will say, well, what happened was they developed technology that can actually detect this and portray it through the camera. And before they didn't have that technology. That's right. They would just make shit up, including that the parallax of the stars, right, so you see it right there, is totally fine, even though it's so obviously wrong. Objects that are far away don't move like that. So, let's take it to here. The globings will not understand this. Flat earthers will. Some flat earthers will definitely understand it. Other flat earthers will go, I'm not sure if I really get it. And you talk with other flat earthers who do get it, and they'll tell you, and you go, all right, that's interesting. So we're going to watch this. Play whenever you're ready. Real world footage, not CGI, by the way. You'll see. Okay, play. Play. Aha! There you go. Play. This is a glider. That's right, a glider. It is not being towed. It is a glider. Come on, whenever you're ready, computer. You might notice these guys in this glider, they don't have a head-up display. That's interesting, isn't it? They don't have a head-up display. It must be because they only fly in the daytime. Yeah, possibly, could be, maybe. Maybe they don't fly high enough to have clouds, like, interrupt your field of view. Like, yeah, or maybe you should look into how high they fly and shut up. Right, so, come on, play now, and play properly. Right. It's coming by with a little trail of smoke. Oh, I'm going to rewind. Sorry, because it's better. Rewind. Take your time, computer. Tell you what, I will do it myself. Here. This is what I would like you to see. The flyby. So, gliders don't have engines. It's flying into the wind. That's right. It's flying into the wind. It's so interesting. It flies into the wind and it flies along with the wind. That's interesting, isn't it? Without an engine. That's very interesting. Flying into the wind with ground speed that's, well, much faster than the wind speed, which is the other way. Okay, so wind speed going in one direction, glider going in the opposite direction. Ground speed of the glider, whoa, over the ground into the wind without an engine. Now, I wonder how winds affect these things with aerofoils when the winds are much higher. I wonder if much faster winds make these things move much faster into the wind. And I wonder if much faster winds make these things fly much faster with the wind too. I know, it's amazing really, isn't it? So should we talk airspeed and planes and Santiago to Auckland or Cape Town to Sydney or Perth? Should we? Should we question why there's no Cape Town or Johannesburg to Buenos Aires? That's a good question. No, there aren't any. Like, there really are none direct South Africa to Buenos Aires. Knock yourselves out looking. So, this vehicle is flying into the wind and doing flybys, which shows, well, unless the wind happened to change direction when the glider turned, the glider is flying both into the wind and along with the wind. Fascinating things. Oh, look at those Subirat's tubes from the sun. Subirat's filaments Look at it. Oh, it went the other way a minute ago. Wind must be turning all of the time. Unless Schauberger was right, and a force from the front can propel something along the direction of that force. Did you hear? Like fish, like trout in a river, like salmon up a spout. And the same thing with planes, because let's face it, the gas is a fluid too. The atmosphere is a fluid. So things that are shaped in the correct fashion can fly into and along those fluids. That's right. In the opposite direction. So wind coming towards you, you're moving very fast towards it. Not only that, but it's been shown you can make a perpetual motion machine that flies into the wind too. That's interesting. So I thought you might find that interesting. I'm trying to pause it. It's not letting me pause. I'll pause in a second. And then I'll go into the chat. Oh, right. Now, by the way, I'm going to ask for something that I usually don't ask. Let me see. Which video should I stop it? I'll stop it on this one. That's right. People can just enjoy watching this while I join the chat. Yeah, this incorporates the two little lights. That will do. Now, people in the chat who were watching previous videos I've made will know that there are surreptitious little globelings watching this who don't make comments in the chat, because if they make a comment, they get a wrench. Or if they make a comment, other globelings see that they already have a wrench. Isn't that right, Wolfie, Simon, Dan, Conspiracy Gats, Wes, Wally? You don't want them to see that you already have a wrench. You don't want to embarrass yourself. Having a wrench means you can say anything. Nobody will block you or delete your comment. That's interesting, huh? Now, they watch these videos quietly. They don't make comments, but they do thumb down the video. And now I've just mentioned that, they'll be like, oh, damn it, I didn't thumb it down. Should I thumb it down now? If I thumb it down now, people will know that what he's saying is true. Oh, it's such a quandary. But I was going to ask, there's 104 watching. I would like to see 104 thumbs up. If you're watching, give it a thumbs up. This way, I will know. There's 104 watching. If I have 84 thumbs up, I know that 20 of those people were likely globelings. See? And it's a pretty kind of valid deduction. If the thumbs up go to 80, then 24, or now 22 of the people watching are globelings, refusing to give a thumbs up. They don't want to give a thumbs up and give the impression that it's all flat earthers, but they might go, oh, right, so what? It feels like we're being thwarted. It feels like he's tricking us into letting people see how many of us are watching. So I'm going to give it a thumbs up. No, wait a minute. If I give it a thumbs up, then he gets a thumbs up. I'm not giving him a thumbs up. I can't give him a thumbs down, because then people will say, aha, see, it was right. Oh, I just don't know what to do. It's just such a quandary. And please take that photo away from the screen of the shoddy curtain rod thing. So 56 thumbs up, 104 watching. Guys, if you can be bothered, give it a thumbs up. Oh, Flat Earth Alaska, you're going to have a wrench. I bet you can do some pretty cool time-lapse of the sun. You're going to have a wrench. There you go. In the summer, I'm going to go to either Murmansk or northern Norway. And I'm going to spend a couple of weeks there so that I can do a time-lapse of the sun with an EQ mount. That's right. I'm going to encourage everybody to do the same. Everybody who's in a position where they can. Oops, sorry. Add moderator. How do you say that? Akbari Amani. Thank you very much. Thumbs up. 65. 2 thumbs down. So guys, if you don't know, if you're watching on a device and you don't know how to do the thumbs up, then that's fair enough. If you know how to do the thumb up to the video, and this isn't a trick so that I get a thumbs up. This is simply so that people will see. Like, oh, it's interesting. Out of 100 people watching, 20 of them were Globlings. And somebody else without a wrench. You can have a wrench too. Oh, more people without wrenches. That's interesting. Yes, so, I haven't mentioned this very much. I mentioned it a little bit, but I haven't mentioned it a lot. A very kind subscriber, and sometimes this really, like, amazes me, okay? A very kind subscriber sent me a P1000. A Nikon Coolpix P1000. I have it right here. I have it on a tripod. I'm going to do some moon observations. I hope Dan, you know who you are, Dan, Richard Archer, I hope you'll join me. I meant to do one earlier this week and then it got cloudy and it's good if it's the full moon, but I don't know. Well, we'll do it when it's a nice night. We want the moon to be low near the horizon rather than high up because I have a mega powerful blue laser and it will show better, the laser will show better if it's pointing towards the horizon rather than pointing high up for the camera, okay? Because of more atmosphere. So, but the point is, I have a P1000. I'm not going to sit and do nothing with it. I'm going to do things, and one of the things I'm going to do, even though it's all the summer away, all the year away, is go to either northern Norway or Murmansk. I'd love to go to Murmansk, but it's going to be a chaos with visas and stuff like that. And you can't just fly to Murmansk. No, you have to fly all over the place. But one of the two. I might go to northern Norway and then just trek across. Then explain myself to the Russian guards. I'm not a spy. I've just come to film the sun, dude. Anyway. And I'm going to do time-lapse of the sun because there aren't that many. We've seen there's only 3 24-hour time-lapses of the sun. Well, I'm going to see if I can do more. But just go camping and have the thing there and just have it taking pictures every 20 minutes or so of the sun. But I'll talk with Graham, see what the best rate is. But that's what I'm going to do. It's going to be cool. And I'm going to urge people like people in Alaska to do the same so that we have a heck of a lot of sun footage. The sun above the horizon 24 hours a day to see, let's see how far from the norm. You see, the norm is it should be a nice, smooth, gradual scrolling off the land under the sun as the sun goes up into the sky and down towards the ground throughout the day. But instead it does a zigzag, it does a slowing down, it does a speeding up, and I want to compare footage from different areas around the Arctic Circle. I just think it's going to be interesting. So 72 thumbs up, 115 people watching. Well, I can do the math and go, well, this is how many people, 117 people watching, not giving a thumbs up. That's interesting. I'm asking people to give a thumb up so that we can determine how many of the people watching are either, and I've been saying Globling, but there are a load of very scumbaggy flat earthers too in the world. We know the Karen Bees of the world and all of those people, you know. And some of those scummy flat earthers will be here not giving a thumb up, okay? But we can see how many of those people are just, well, I don't want to say that all the Globlings are scummy. All the scummy flat earthers are scummy. Some Globlings are scummy, but it helps see how many of the people watching are people who are trying to critique and going, but very difficult to critique because, well, number one, you're showing the lunar lander, and that's embarrassing. And to the scummy flat earthers, from our point of view, you left the flock, and we're not happy about you leaving the flock. You should come back to the flock. Or something. Anyway, concavers. Multi-Tomtom writes, concavers. This reminds me, Bilu is back. That's right. You know Bilu? Bilu. That thing. It's back. That Daquila convex Earth. It's like, hey, hold on. Isn't the globe Earth convex Earth? Well, never mind that. They have this other idea, totally wrong. The map's completely wrong. It's like, you can't be that good if your map's wrong. Anyway, those guys with their sex cult, that's right, a sex cult. They want people to join them and go and live in their compound. Give them all the money and go and live with them and learn all about the magic of Bilu. That's right. True story. Now, obviously, that guy, he's not just a charlatan and people just have to figure out for themselves that he's a charlatan. He's a charlatan who was sent to prison for being a charlatan, a fraudster. Prison, found guilty of, and this is in Brazil. We're a bit like, okay, well, I don't know. In Brazil, you're a fraudster. Prison. Then out of prison, I have an idea. If I say that the earth is flat, and I say we've proven it, and I say all kinds of stuff, and I start a cult where we tell them all about the magic of the world and stuff, and I make an alien, and the alien tells them stuff, and sometimes the alien looks exactly like me. You see, some of you won't know this, but a camera crew went to meet this Bilu creature, but they had infrared photography, and they saw that this Bilu was this guy with a torch who is like, I'm not coming out, I'm shy. And then he switches off the torch and squats down, but they can see that he's squatting down because they're filming him, and then he kind of shuffles away into the grass. True story. True story. Anyway, there you go. 79 thumbs up, 115 viewers. Well, we can see for ourselves how many. Now, we don't know how many are globalings and how many are scummy flat earthers. We know that there's a lot of scummy flat earthers. There really are. And then we know that there's sincere, genuine globalings and also scummy globalings. I think Wes Wally is just a bit of a dim-dim. I'll tell you why. For those of you who've just joined more recently, the image you're seeing on the screen, Wes Wally and Wolfie6020 think went to the moon. Didn't only go to the moon, but also came back, the top part of it. It was abandoned somewhere. Yeah, not really, but never mind that. They have this other thing that they say went to the moon and landed with their parachutes. And they think that this, wait, I hope this is the right one. They think that this is real footage from the ISS. So what I'm going to do in a second, and I've done this before, is I'm going to show you the Santa tracker, because it won't be long before this kind of quality will be used for tracking Santa. You hear that, Where's Wally? That with the ridiculously fast moving stars, by the way, that's supposed to be a rocket that was launched from Earth. And there it is going back. So now what I'm going to do for the Where's Wallis of the world Look, all you have to do is write NORAD Santa tracker. Let's do, well, yeah, let's do Santa Tracker 2019. That should be interesting. Have they tracked him already? Now that would be, well, maybe they can also see through time. No, 2018, of course. Right. NORAD tracks Santa. All cams. No, that was, I'm not watching that one. Well, yeah, let's watch that one. Let's see. Might be really good. Where's Wally? Look, this is NORAD. Like real, but really, really NORAD. Okay. Tracking Santa. Gonna move ahead. Move ahead. Oh, obviously that's cartoony. Duh. NORAD. Oh, let's move ahead. Oh, look. Vectors. Vectors. Santa. This is what they're using for. Oh, they don't want to shoot Santa, do they? Oh, no, no, no. They're taking pictures of the Earth. I say muffly. There, Santa. Oh, no, that's not real. Can you see? That's not real. Oh, that's terrible. No, that's not the real Santa. Let's move ahead. Oh. Ooh. Hello, this looks a bit better. There's Santa. Must be real. Being tracked by camera and satellite and stuff. God, they keep having a problem with the parallax of the stars, don't they? God, there's some G-force. I'm surprised none of the gifts fell off. So let's move ahead. Let's see other quality. There you go. Over Google Earth. Ah, there you go. There's Randolph with his red nose. And you're all there going, it's not Randolph. Well, I say it's Randolph. Oh, look. This is, I'm not being funny, guys. This could start a war. That's a mosque. It's a mosque. What the hell is Santa, a Christian thing, doing flying around a mosque? That's likely to be seen as a threat. Good Lord. Talk about insensitive. Let's see. No, this is more like it. Oh, God, and then they ruin it with this. Nope. Okay, let's see. Cartoony, obviously. Let's see. Cartoony. Cartoony. Some of this is very cartoony for some reason. Look. Looks like they're going into the Middle East. Santa going into the Middle East. With constellations that don't even exist. That's terrible. Let's see. Next one. Terrible. Gosh, that is really bad. Let's see. Also very bad. Some of these, it's almost like they weren't really trying to convince people. It's almost like the first footage that the ISS gave us was really crappy, and now the footage is better. It's more almost like that. Let's move ahead. No. No. Move ahead. Look, satellite must be real. See, it's a satellite, Wolfie. Where's Wally? That's a satellite, see? See, the satellite and the footage of Santa. Maybe you should take a clue and go, hey, if the Santa's not real, maybe the satellite's also not real. Did you see? Maybe that's what, see, they can find Randolph easily. Because he glows. His nose, anyway. Look. Oh, it looks like at some point it had to be escorted. Probably when I was going to do flybys around mosques. It was escorted by planes with strange insignias. I don't recognise those insignias. Anyway, let's move ahead. And then once it was safe out of, you know, mosque land, they flew off. What's this? Nope, rubbish. Well, that's rubbish. Look at that. The heck is that? How come that just stops in the air? That laser. Anyway, let's move. Rubbish as well. And I make a prediction. In the next few years, it's going to be almost indistinguishable from reality. It's going to look like it's tracked by the ISS. Now, you might not know this, but when they first went to the moon, well, when they went to the moon, supposedly, one of the times they went was in December, around Christmas time. And guess what one of the astronauts said? One of the astronauts said that they saw Santa Claus. That's right. One of the astronauts said they saw Santa Claus. Terrible. All of this is terrible footage. We'll find one of the proper trackers in a minute, don't worry. I mean the ones that really are tracking Santa. You know, for the Where's Wally's of the world. Obviously cartoony. I mean, even children wouldn't buy that. What the heck is that? Look at that, doing a grid off the sky. Yeah. Okay, so, there's my map. Gonna go back, and we'll get one of the proper trackers, and you'll see how they track Santa. Here you are. There's just under 11 hours of it. I showed it the other day. Now, Globelings, you might notice there's a Santa tracker on the right, from NORAD, no less. And you'll see it's flying over a globe. Santa is flying over a globe. Santa doesn't really exist. The globe doesn't really exist. The globe over which Santa is flying doesn't really exist. And Santa doesn't fly over a globe because Santa doesn't really exist. Do you see? A few days ago I showed what was, as a guess, is what the Egyptians would have been told was, well, the amazing work of Ra. I might show it again, my own video. Yeah, it might mess up. No, I won't. Oh, yes, I will. There are more people watching, so I will. What was it called? I don't know. Let me go into my channel. Oh no, it all messes up. Never mind. I'm not doing it. In fact, I'll go back to the tracker. So, you can go and watch my videos, and I show, well, from the film Gods of Egypt, Ra fighting the great big serpent that he used to have to fight every night. And then rise again in the morning, and then fight again every night. Flying over a flat earth that's not a real, because it's a film. And this is also a film. Wait a second. Not this, that's real. What's this? Let me see if this is the one. This is also a film, which is Iron Man, where he flies and he has a head-up display that says things like Horizon Lock. See? Flying away. And oh, there's Santa. And where's Wally? With his poor little mind, thinks that because somebody has rendered footage of a globe Earth, this, because somebody's rendered this and they've put that watermark of the EESA, it must be really real. That's right. So you have to bear this in mind. There are some people who reach adulthood without actually having developed all of their faculties, or at least their faculties to the optimum. Here is the, well, I don't know, parts of the ISS, I suppose it is. Receiving illumination, even though it's in the dark side of the earth. It's just fantastic. And these guys believe this is true. And when you take them, you go, look, you know this was supposed to have landed on the moon? I go, yeah, I see nothing wrong with that. It's like, okay, then you're a lost cause. Just sit down and learn. Go and look at the sun and learn. Look at the shadows and learn. Figure out this place isn't round. The light from the sun would have to fall in parallel rays for Eratosthenes to have done his observation. The sun does not fall in parallel rays. Therefore, he cannot have done his observation. It's very simple. But the poor dim-dims, they think this is real. Like they really do. They think this is real. It's a fantasy they have in their brain, and they can't get rid of it. It's like, it must be real because I'm seeing it. It's like, I've just shown you Santa being tracked. That doesn't mean it's real just because you can see it. I've shown you Iron Man flying off into the air with an HUD display that says Horizon Lock. That's also not real. Do you understand? Am I getting through to you at all? Here's an idea. Imagine if you could buy fluoride-free toothpaste and start using it. And imagine if after some time of that, a minuscule amount of the fluoride that was calcifying your pineal gland, minuscule amount, was dissolved by your brain and your body and you, basically this organism you live in called the human body, just trying to get rid of this blockage. Imagine if that was real. Well, guess what? It is real. And do you know what happens when you block some of your pineal gland? You might not know this, Wes Wally, but this is how your vision works. Light filaments go in through your pupils. These filaments arrive and deposit information in the cones and rods. The cones and rods transmit this information along, wait for it, optical nerve filaments to the back of the brain. But they don't do this directly. No, they go across, they cross each other, they do a loop around the pineal gland, and then they rejoin portion that did not do that loop to render information to the back of the brain. This looping around the pineal gland is where the both halves of your brain are supposed to abstract information and configure it by reflecting that information with information that it already has, and by problem solving information it already has with the information it's now receiving. And that allows your inner mind to understand the world a little bit better. But when instead you have that calcified, that doesn't happen. And the information goes from your eyes without your thinking part of the brain being fully engaged, arrives at the back of your brain and gets deposited into the I know this because I saw it. That's why you have footage like this presented to you. So you can say, I know it because I saw it. If you thought about this, you'd go, hold on a minute. those stars are moving too fast. Let me go back and play it again. Okay? You would say to yourself, those stars are moving too fast. You would also say to yourself, wait a second, those lights are cities. So let me go back. Okay? Those lights, watch, wait. Those lights are cities. The light from one bonfire wouldn't really be seen. The light from one building on fire wouldn't really be seen. The light from one jet wouldn't really be seen. But there you are, you're seeing it. You see, you're seeing it nice and clear. See, those lights that you're seeing, they're not individual houses. They're towns. You understand? They are towns and cities. And now when it comes to the stars, look at how quickly the stars are scrolling. They're scrolling faster than the globe, which is scrolling at an angle from you. You understand? That's not possible. Distant lights cannot scroll faster than an object around which you're flying. It's just not possible, dim-dims. If you were to stop and go, well, let's see if we can deduce this mathematically, then you might say, right, we'll idealize a point on the Earth, and we'll look by the rotation and by how many stars are being occluded, well, approximately 14 degrees per, well, grid. You'll have to project a grid. And you'd then say, hold on a minute, according to this, we've done like more than half the globe, but also according to this, we've only done a quarter of the globe. Like less than a quarter. And when math doesn't work out, it's because there's something wrong with your information. So we're going to play some more. Come on, whenever you're ready. Poor globelings. Oh, poor. But well, just, you know, it's an interesting world we live in. Do you understand what I mean about the stars? Oh. I mean, you've got a perfect example. Wait a minute. Pause, for goodness sake. I'm trying to pause it now. Just give me a second. Interesting how there's no refraction with those stars. Almost like the atmosphere was having no effect whatsoever, instead of compressing them like happens in the real world. But never mind that. There's a point where you see the object, Iron Man, going back into the atmosphere at the same rate as the stars. Actually slower than the stars if I saw right. So let me rewind. Right, so watch. Keep watching. There. Can you see that bright spot? That's Iron Man re-entering the atmosphere. Now watch how the stars scroll faster than, well, Iron Man. Watch. Way. Interesting. And impossible. Impossible in several different ways, which you, globelings, have no chance of understanding. So I'm going to put it back to this, and I'm going to go into the chat. There you go. Enjoy your gift from NASA. Enjoy the white light up to the left and the blue light down to the left. Enjoy those. That's right, just enjoy them. And I'm going to go into the chat, see how everybody's doing. Oh, something wrong. The heck is happening? What is happening? Right, okay. So there you go, somebody, Danny D, so there you are. You can have a wrench. Add moderator. Don't know how you ended up without a wrench. Have you had to open a new channel? Because you had a wrench before and I've never removed it from you. Yeah, anyway. So looking, Madame Medusa, everybody, greetings. The Supreme Architect, how are you doing? Let me see. Has something gone wrong with it? Let me scroll back through the video. No, it's all okay. Yes. You lost me for a while. Right. Thanks for that, Nicholas. It doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me. See, you can't just... If you upset people, there are people out there in the world who put themselves in charge of stopping people from being upset. That's right. They just make themselves the boss of people being upset and stopping that. And they say, well, this is upsetting to people, we're going to stop that. Really? Like, true story. West Coast Wisdom. Right, something. How are you doing? Did you get the email Friday funny? I think so. I think I replied to it, didn't I? Oh, I see somebody else. If that was... Wait a minute. Which one was that? Was that the dude? The picture of the dude? On the dude? Oh, that sounds wrong. It was a cat on her partner's. Anyway. So, Johnny Charlton, you have a wrench too. If you go, guys, if you go to my previous video, you'll see a swarm of globlings saying, no, you've got it wrong. You say there's cloud in one and there isn't cloud in the other. You're just misunderstanding. So I've made this video that you're looking at right now to show. Like, no, look. I'm going to show it again. Look, let me scroll through. When you compare footage, here's level flight at 28,000 feet approximately. And here's supposedly level flight from 38,000 feet, I think it is. Let me just check. From Wolfie. Whenever the screen decides to show it. There you go. Oh, from 48, I don't know. Can't really see very well. Let's see. Let's move ahead a little bit. 38,000 feet, sorry. I don't know why it says 42 there. That might be the target. In that box at the bottom of the screen, that might be the target height versus the actual height. No, it isn't. So there must be at 48. Oh, that's interesting. I don't know. Just interesting. You see the drop between that and, well, the apparent horizon. And we're supposed to believe that the real horizon is just under 4 of those clicks on that rule on the right. Just under 4 of those, lower than where the apparent horizon appears to be now. So you look to see, and you find, well, here's one that says about 4. Here's one that says 2.5. What's going on with this artificial horizon head-up display thing? Come on, whenever you're ready, computer. And it's easy to understand, here you are. It's easy to understand how globelings get confused. They're going to take whatever is the easiest information to match to their globe. So you have this footage here from Wolfie. We're not looking at the band as the horizon. We're looking at the bottom portion, the grey-blue, as the horizon. Okay. And then we compare with this, also from Wolfie. So that bottom blue, not cloud. There was a band of cloud that we saw. Then there was the bottom blue-grey, not cloud. We can look at the distance between the horizon and that. Then we can look at the distance between the horizon and this. Now the bright green is also not cloud, supposed to be. Even though it looks like the moon is casting its light on the surface of some, well, cloud, or much more distant, well, cloud, you see that the two contradict each other. Let me just scroll. And this, by the way, Wolfie, did you know your videos are being flagged as flat earth? Hey, it's very funny. It is. Look, this is Wolfie's channel, and under his video it says, flat earth, the flat earth model is a rare manner. So, just thought I'd let you know, in case you didn't already, that your videos are being flagged by YouTube as flat earth videos. Anyway, I'm scrolling to where we can see the grid. Nice and level here. Somebody's texting me. Ah, right. Oh, cool. So, there you go. There. You can see the distance between the HUD's horizon and the real horizon. That real horizon, some of you might say, hold on a minute, that's closer to that HUD horizon, therefore must be cloud. Right? Because that was your excuse here. Oh, come on, computer. That was your excuse here. You said, oh no, the reason for the discrepancy is cloud in one and not cloud in the other. Well, now I'm showing you discrepancy whether it's cloud in neither. And in a minute I'm going to show you that this cloud in neither is correct according to the information. There's also extra information like that glare from the moon that looks like it's falling on something. It could be some bizarre artifact of the whole system, but it needs addressing. Now, oh God, it's messing up. And by the way, right now I'm blaming my computer, not YouTube. Apologies for the trembly voice. I was doing a lot of where's Wally impression, and oh, I had a whale of a time doing voices. Where's Wally saying Wolfie? Okay. Wolfie, over here, it's me, it's Wally. Hey, Wolfie. Ay, ay, ay. Right, where was I? Aha, right. So, here. There's this footage, much lower down horizon. And then there's this footage, not so lower down horizon. So people say the difference between the two is clouds. That's what makes the difference between the two. Okay, so, and Wolfie himself says, this, no clouds. It's like, okay, no clouds. Let's count those pegs on the left. We're going to start at the one closest to the horizontal line. 1, 2, just over 2.5. Okay, and then we're going to compare. Okay, so no clouds, 2.5. Here we're going to compare to the blue line. 1, 2, 3, almost 4. That doesn't work. Let's compare with something else. Here, also not cloud. 1, 2, just over 2. Hey, wait a second. Let's see. 1, 2, just under 3. That's closer to it, closer to it. And here, let's see. 1, 2, well, 2. That's interesting. It's just very interesting. Just under 3 and 2. And close to 4. That's very, very interesting. So for those of you who don't understand and who go, here, no, it's cloud. It's cloud, Antonio. You don't understand. It's cloud. We're not counting that band of cloud. We're looking at the grey underneath the reddish, beautiful, lovely reddish peach orange. Okay? That grey area, counting that as the ground. As the ground. The physical horizon. Okay? It could be cloud. You might be tempted to say cloud. Wrongly. Not realizing that that messes you up even more. Because this is the one with the biggest drop. Understand? This one has the biggest drop. So if you're going to say that's cloud, and it's the biggest drop, then you've got to understand. You've got to explain. Well, which one is it? Where is it? Come on. This one. You've got to explain this. Oh wait a minute. Where was it? This one. You see? You can't have it both ways. Clouds make the horizon higher, and clouds make the horizon even lower. You understand? So we're looking at this. Sorry. This. The grey, when it reaches the reddy orange. Okay? We're counting from there up. Just under 4 of those marks. That's the same head-up display. Just under 4. Here it's 2. Sorry, 1, 2. Just over, 2. 4 versus 2. Now you might want to say this is cloud. That's right, it's only 2. Okay, well let's listen to Wolfie explaining how that's not cloud because, well, he shows some stormy clouds. And he says we can see some stormy clouds. I'll show you and I play the audio of him explaining stormy clouds, and I had to angle the thing down 9 degrees and So I'm going to play the audio. Remember, Wolfie, the moon glare needs explaining. And by the way, that was counting the horizon as the band lowest on the screen, not that second band that you can see. If we're counting that second band, it would be 1 degree drop, maybe 1.5. Okay. Now listen to Wolfie explain. This is not cloud, but we are coming into some storm clouds.
So there you have confirmation once again that the horizon did not rise to our level.
Unfortunately for you, there's a big problem with your other footage. But never mind, listen to the storm cloud part. Those grey areas, well, different green areas, are clouds.
Was below eye level as it was setting. So it is clearly not moving in a circle above a flat Earth. Now the last part, I'm just going to show you how useful the head-up display with the EVS can be at night when you're going across the equator with thunderstorms all around. Here we can see the EVS is on, and you can see the silhouette of these thunderstorms below us.
That's clouds, aka the rest of it is not clouds. You understand? Now count the drops on that little rule on the right. 1, 2, 2, not clouds. Let's look at the other one. 1, 2, 3, almost 4. not clouds. Now let's look at the cloud one. Oh, here, cloud. It's like, care to explain these clouds making up so much of your view? Care to explain it? Or, Wolfie, were you a little bit vexed and forgot what you were meant to be showing? You were meant to be showing a bigger drop. You could have shown a bigger drop, but I think you forgot what you were meant to be showing. I think you were meant to be showing only a small, I think you thought you were meant to be showing a tiny drop, forgetting that you'd earlier shown a much bigger drop and then a smaller drop. You have 3 levels of drop, 2 of them without cloud, drastically different, as in twice as big. Okay? So, 1 versus 2. So, 1, twice as much drop as 2. Same head-up display, same plane, same pilot. Who then went out and messed up making this video because he was a bit vexed because all these flat earthers are confusing him. You freaking clown foot. Now, it might have not dawned on you that the head-up display that displays that horizontal line there is there just to help you, not to actually indicate where the horizon is. You understand? Just to help you. Also, not to show where level is. Just to help you. If you want to understand what I mean, you might want to look at the MiG-29 and their head-up display. You'll find that they have something to help the pilot, which is not a horizon like this. You understand? I hope you understand. You're a pilot. You should understand. MiG-29, cool plane, by the way. Right, anyway, that's it. Now I'm going to put that shocking photo again and go back into the chat. Hey, Wolfie, it's me, Wally. Oh my God, it makes me chuckle so much. Oh wait. Oh, are you the wolf pack? Oh, it's so fun. When adults behave like that, like calling themselves part of the wolf pack or the potato crew or the shit like that, they're immature. They're being immature. They're like, really, wolf pack, oh, and Wolfie, I'm over here. Which is what where's Wally? He might not actually do it. I am mocking him, for comedic value. But he would want to. If he saw Wolfie coming towards him, like in his aviator glasses with his leather jacket slung over one shoulder, chatting all cool to one of the stewardesses, so funny. And made eye contact with Welsh Wally and dropped his head so he could make direct eye contact over the aviators. Welsh Wally would want to go, he's me! Like really, he would. He'd have a tiny little thrill. It's endearing really, but it's also very funny. Oh. I see somebody without a wrench. You're going to have a wrench. You might notice, people who are new, that I don't discriminate. I don't care if you're a globling or a flat earther. Flatling, or planeling, or earthling. Earthling, Earth versus globe Earth. Anyway, so I'm giving wrenches to people like John McCabe. You have a wrench? Oh, somebody writes, I'm curious as to how it's been debunked. How what's been debunked? I miss so much when I'm chatting away. Anyway, so I'm now looking in the chat. If you want to address, here's the link I sent. West Coast Wisdom. Oh, okay. Let's have a look at what it was. Daily Mail. Oh, yes, I do remember now. So let me open it and take a look. Oh, I have to do a big hell of a lot of shuffling things around in order to display it. But instead I'll just read it, because people can hit the link that's in the chat right now. And if you're watching this not live, then there's a link in the chat by West Coast Wisdom. Hit that link. I'm going to read it. Wolfie, it's me, Wally. Ooh. Hi. Isn't that Antonio a nasty, nasty boob? He keeps saying that the one more orbit people didn't go around. You know, because remember when he showed there was no Antarctica? And remember when he showed there was no Australia? Right. Incredible moment. NASA air launches Icon satellites over the Atlantic and into orbit on a mission to unlock the mysteries of the ionosphere, the upper atmosphere, where air meets space. Huh? Where air meets space? I did see that, by the way. I'm not going to show it because I have to fiddle a lot with OBS and it messes up when I do it midstream. Meeting the abscess of something, like the absence, wouldn't that be like going up to a friend? You're alone, okay? You go up to a friend and say, hey, I would like you to meet Rosalind. And you point next to you and there's no Rosalind there. Well, that person's not really meeting Rosalind, isn't it? See, words have meanings and the poor... Oh, yes, this footage is dreadful, by the way. It played really poorly, by the way. But yes, it is hilarious. The footage is hilarious. Like, look at this little bit of footage and cartoon. Pretty shoddy cartoon. Like, going out of the way to show that it's cartoon, okay? Not to mislead. This is what's going on now. We can't show it because we've lost footage, but this is what's going on. And now this is what's going on. And now this is what... It's just, oh, okay. Carry on telling stories if you like. But where air meets space, that's not possible. Where air meets vacuum, they go, oh, also not possible. But ionosphere, yeah, that thing that allows for signals to go way, way, way too far, the ionosphere was invented after Marconi sent a signal from New York to Dublin. Did you hear that? I think it was New York, or was it Nova Scotia? Nova Scotia to Dublin. A telegraph signal. Are you receiving me? Okay. That's not possible. There's too much curvature. So they invented the ionosphere. What must have happened is, even though light bends into the denser atmosphere, for some reason, radio waves must bend away from the densest atmosphere into the less dense atmosphere, travel upwards in an arced fashion, hit something that doesn't scramble them, okay, and then they bend down in an opposite arc to arrive at Dublin. That's right. That's the ionosphere. So now it's like, how come the air doesn't just go off into the atmosphere? Because of the ionosphere, that's why. They go, really? I thought the ionosphere was lower than that. But no, now it's higher. But don't let... Oh, I'll tell you what, I'm going to show you. I'm going to see if I can find something I can show you. Don't forget this, Globe Links. The moon is now within the Earth's atmosphere. Just give me a second, I'll find something to show you. Hopefully, not from a flat earther peeing his or her pants. Hopefully, from a non-flat earther. So give me a second. Moon is inside Earth's atmosphere. That's right, it's not a sphere, it's a sphere. Yeah, it goes round the Earth, right? And it goes out way beyond the Moon and comes back to the Earth. This atmosphere. What's the shape of that shape? It's like a very, very long egg. Is it? That's right. Right, so give me a second now that my system's cooperating a bit. The Moon is now within Earth's atmosphere. That's right, you hadn't thought of it before, but we just found these records that were there gathering dust on a shelf. We looked at them. Good Lord, the Moon's inside the Earth's atmosphere. Maybe that's how rockets work in space. I don't know. Or maybe it's just all a crock of nonsense. That's right. Or maybe the people looking, going, it looks like the Moon's inside our atmosphere. And then the Groblin said, but we said it was very far away. Well, then you're going to have to change the shape of that atmosphere. Right, give me a second. I'm trying to get the system to play along, and it isn't. The moon inside Earth's. Might help if I spell it properly, but Moon snide. Sounds like I was talking Chinese then. Moon. Earth's there. I'll just let it figure it out. So we're waiting for YouTube to find footage, video of people explaining how Moon snide Earth, and it will. Like, Moon is inside Earth's atmosphere. NASA science cast understanding the outer reaches of Earth's atmosphere. The outer reaches. Being a replay Moon incredible lunar views. No, the Moon crash course. NASA tour off the Moon. Earthrise. No. NASA observers done a surprising discovery about Earth's atmosphere. NASA observatory makes a surprising discovery. I doubt it. Oh, no human has ever left Earth's atmosphere. Here's why. Because the Moon is inside it. Right, so just bear with me. That's what I'm guessing it's saying. Oh, there, should have gone hit the one below, but I will, don't worry. Earth's atmosphere reaches twice the distance of the Moon. That's right. That's right, Globlings. Now, when a story changes drastically, it's because it's false. Flat Earth story doesn't change. The truth of the Flat Earth story doesn't change drastically. The charlatans talking about Flat Earth where sun and moon making small concentric, eccentric circles over its surface. Those guys go, well, that's what I heard from the Flat Earth Society, so it must be true. You freaking idiot. That's what it said in the Bible, so it must be true. And so put the sun and the moon there. Oh, really? That's interesting. You not heard of when there was more than one sun? You not heard about that? Oh, no. Anyway, so let's wait and see. There must be lots of people using YouTube for some reason. Didn't used to happen, but now lots of little glitches. No human has ever left Earth's atmosphere. Here's why. 1 million views. This should be fun. Listen, I'm going to play it for educational purposes. If you're going to try and block this worldwide because I'm embarrassing you, well, then go ahead. You know, if you're the arbiter of truth and you object to people showing some of that truth, then go ahead.
Through the history of space exploration so far, we've debated where the Earth's atmosphere ends and space begins.
Oh.
And your surprise for the day is that according to newly unearthed observations, our atmosphere is way bigger than we ever thought. Like, it goes past the moon. We've mostly defined space as the vast expanse of the rest of the universe that exists past the Kármán line, which exists roughly 100 kilometers above mean sea level. Now, according to the Fédération Aéronautique Internationale, the organization officially in charge of determining these kinds of rules, after the Kármán line, you are in space. The reasoning behind this is after 100...
Wait, the organization that's in charge of what? I thought she said these kinds of rules, but let's see.
As the vast expanse of the rest of the universe that exists past the Kármán line, which exists roughly 100 kilometers above mean sea level. Now, according to the Fédération Aéronautique Internationale, the organization officially in charge of determining these kinds of rules,
yes, that's what she said. The organization in charge of determining these kinds of rules. Not these kinds of facts. These rules, it's a rule. That's where it is. Oh, okay.
Line, you are in space. The reasoning behind this is after 100 kilometers, the Earth's atmosphere becomes too thin for a conventional aeronautic vehicle like an airplane to stay in flight without reaching orbital velocity. So you have to switch to more specialized...
Wait a second. So, we can determine something from what you just said, because some of what she's saying is true. See? Right. When the air gets too thin, the planes can't fly unless they go faster. Did you hear that? I mean, that's me re-explaining or explaining what she just said. She said without reaching orbital speeds. That means faster. Faster. Much faster. So I'm going to go back. You should figure this stuff out whilst you're hearing it from her. But I'm going to translate anyway, because I enjoy it.
Internationale, the organization officially in charge of determining these kinds of rules, after the Kármán line, you are in space. The reasoning behind this is after 100 kilometers, the Earth's atmosphere becomes too thin for a conventional aeronautic vehicle like an airplane to stay in flight without reaching orbital velocity.
What does that mean? Wolfie 6020, the higher you go, the less atmosphere, the faster you have to fly to be at that elevation. See, it's simple. 1 + 1 = 2. Shall we talk flight times and distances between Auckland and Chile now?
So you have to switch to more specialized astronautic vehicles. But if you thought this was going to be simple, it's not. Even though the FAI's Kármán line designation is commonly recognized, there's actually no official international consensus over where space technically begins. Some astrophysicists say it should actually be 80 kilometers above the mean sea level because of the way the orbital momentum acts on satellite objects. NASA and the US Air Force also define space as starting about 80 kilometers above the Earth's surface, and those who cross that line officially become astronauts.
But right now, I'm going to go back to this and go, oh, look at that. It looks like from this, that ionosphere is farther away. Oh no, it's less far away. So, oh god, it's both. Because there's that red banding, and then there's that kind of orangey hue. Huh.
Acts on satellite objects. NASA and the US Air Force also define space as starting about 80 kilometers above the Earth's surface, and those who cross that line officially become astronauts. Okay, so the definition of space is up in the air, but what even is the atmosphere? Yes, it's the bubble of gases that shield and insulate the Earth from the aggressive radiation of the sun and the cold, dark depths of space. But like most complex things, it's got layers. The troposphere, with all our fun weather and necessary gases for breathing and surviving. The stratosphere, where commercial airlines fly when possible because there's usually less turbulence. The mesosphere, where most meteors burn up and the highest layer at which clouds can form. And then comes the thermosphere, which is where that tricky Kármán line lives. And this is where astronauts begin to experience weightlessness and is where the ISS orbits. That means that technically our most commonly defined line of where space begins is still in Earth's atmosphere. And then finally there's the exosphere, that final layer between us and outer space made up of super spaced out hydrogen and helium atoms.
Super spaced out. Sorry, it's just funny. It's very spaced out.
Slowly dissipating out to nothing, up to 200,000 kilometers away from Earth's surface. Or so we thought. We actually haven't previously really known where the exosphere ends and outer space begins. We just know that those extremely sparse gases gradually fade out into a vacuum. But a team of astronomers has
They gradually fade out like a vague memory. That's what they just fade. They just fade. Because gravity, see, gravity is just not strong enough to hold them. It's strong enough to hold the moon, which is much, much heavier than those not very heavy things. Strong enough to keep that, but not the smaller, lighter things. Oh, okay. Sounds like a not very well thought out story to me.
recently dropped a total bombshell. When the cloud of gases in the exosphere reflects the sun's UV light, it creates a luminosity, a glow that we can see called the geocorona. These new observations of the geocorona indicate that the exosphere may extend up to 630,000 kilometers away from
See what I mean about the spheg? Look, it's a spheg.
Earth, a distance that includes the moon. So technically, the moon is in the Earth's atmosphere. This really
But of course, in order to see that, they would have to send a satellite very far away. But they haven't sent any of those satellites very far away. They say they have. Some of those satellites track Santa. See? Like full circle.
is thanks to an instrument called the Solar Wind Anisotropies Instrument, or SWAN. SWAN was able to measure and analyze the full extent of the geocorona, making
You should have called it Icarus. Swan. That's silly. Call it Icarus.
think about our atmosphere in a whole new way. See, sunlight interacts with the hydrogen atoms of the exosphere at a wavelength called Lyman alpha radiation, which is something astrophysicists can measure when looking at cosmological structures in deep space. Observing Lyman alpha radiation can tell us about the distribution of matter in space and help us think about how the universe expanded. It's also a wavelength that's absorbed by the inner layers of our atmosphere, so we can't observe it from Earth. But from SWAN's
So
position
don't bother checking, because you won't see anything.
space, it was able to see and measure both general Lyman alpha radiation and the geocorona, which extended far beyond what we were expecting.
That's right. You see how you know that that's all real? Because of this graphic. That's right. This graphic. That's why it's all real.
So while this discovery is remarkable in many ways, not the least of which is that technically no one has ever left Earth's atmosphere, it won't change space travel for us in most practical ways. It's far more important for informing the future of our observations of space. The new
You might think, let me just go back. Okay, so see all this? See that flattening? That's the sun that causes that flattening. So solar winds form this shape. So when the moon is nearer the sun, well, it will be out of that atmosphere. You know, when it's at new moon. Yeah, because the solar wind will be pushing past the moon and pushing all that atmosphere away. Well, wouldn't that happen also like at other times, like with stellar winds? Well, no, because luckily the whole solar system has got a shield. Yes, it's brown. It's a brown shield. And it shields the solar system from stellar winds. True story.
Earth's atmosphere, it won't change space travel for us in most practical ways. It's far more important for informing the future of our observations of space. The new results also show that sunlight compresses the hydrogen atoms of the exosphere, producing pockets of denser geocorona with corresponding Lyman alpha radiation, depending on the sun's position. So, space
Shut up. Stop talking nonsense, but let's carry on.
telescopes that make measurements from within the confines of the exosphere will need to take a new Lyman alpha baseline level and the bunching of the geocorona into account when observing the night sky, hopefully letting us peer further and with greater accuracy. One last amazing
That's nothing. Now, those were lots of amazing things. Let's look at this one.
New observations from a study by the European Space Agency and NASA show that Earth's geocorona.
Not true. These studies were over 20 years old when they found them, and now they're all saying new ones. Like, no, these things were left. The observations were made 20 years ago. Okay? And they're just left in a shelf. But now the story changes. See what I said about story changing? Meaning there's some bullshit there? That's right. Well, let's listen.
An atmospheric layer made of hydrogen atoms reaches up to 630,000 kilometers, or 391,000 miles away.
Oh.
According to the paper published in AGU's Journal of Geophysical Research, the team made these observations using an instrument mounted on a satellite called the Solar and Heliospheric Observatory, or SOHO.
That's interesting. How come it didn't melt? It doesn't the radiation from the sun like have effects like radiative effects and melt shit? No. Of course not, because it's in the imagination. You know, things can be invulnerable in the imagination.
The SOHO orbits some 1.5 million kilometers from Earth towards the Sun and mainly studies Earth's interactions with the Sun.
No, it doesn't. All of that's not true.
It is equipped with a remote tool called solar wind anisotrophes, or SWAN.
No, it isn't. That's not true.
The SWAN is capable of detecting hydrogen.
I bet. Remember when I showed the Santa tracker and they were using this kind of thing for tracking Santa? It's the same thing.
Signatures in the outer layer of Earth's atmosphere by using an absorption cell.
Oh, is that it? Next, animation. What animation? Nothing. Right, so let's troubleshoot.
Anisotrophes, or
So this thing is outside Earth's atmosphere. Of course, that's how we can see the Earth's atmosphere from the outside, right? But you can't really see the Earth's atmosphere. You have to determine that it's there by looking at wavelengths of things. But between the thing and the Earth, there are wavelengths of things like coming from the sun. So the information that the thing is picking up from the wavelength of the SFEG, that information is making its way against the information from the sun, which covers the whole spectrum. Okay, so it's making its way against that, a bit like a glider, and then it's being detected by that squirrely little rod. That rod picks it up. Then the information is sent like a glider again on the solar winds to the Earth, where it's picked up by equipment on the Earth that can pick up that kind of information, but can't pick up the information being streamed by the one more orbit plane. Good Lord, it's almost like it really is just fantasy. Anyway, talking of fantasy, let's go back to this. And let's go into the chat. For goodness sake. Now, there are globelings who think that all of that stuff is true. Because she said it's amazing lots of times. So, it's amazing. And now they have new information. See? And it's amazing. And the moon is still very far away. And they went to the moon. They didn't know about this atmosphere, but it's really, really thin atmosphere. So obviously they didn't have to, like, factor it into the journey of the Apollo missions. They didn't have to factor it in for things like drag or anything. It's too thin. Okay? So it's just fine. It's okay. Oh, somebody's, Rex writes, Neanderthals. Yeah, that's right. You're going to have a wrench too. So, if you say that something's amazing lots of times, when you're addressing easily impressed people, they go, "Whoa, is it? It's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing." And that's it. And they look at what's on the screen. It's amazing that this went to the moon. That's right. It went to the moon. What do you mean, what are those white and blue lights off to the left? It doesn't really matter what those are. Okay. What do you mean, what's all that crumpling? It doesn't matter what it is. What do you mean? Why is that crumpling made on panels that are quite small. Why not just one piece? If it's supposed to be some kind of thermal shielding or something, it's something. Whatever it's supposed to be, why could it not be one piece? Oh, in case something went wrong and they had to replace. They didn't have replacements for it. Stop talking silliness. What kind of tape did they have? Because some of that, what you're seeing, is actual tape. What kind of tape do NASA have that doesn't become, well, unsticky under very high temperatures, like direct sunlight, like that thing is right now, supposed to be in direct sunlight? How hot is it supposed to get in direct sunlight without the atmosphere quelling some of those effects of the radiation? How hot? Incredibly, meltingly hot. Oh, but it didn't melt that. That's right, because of those panels. That's right. Well, what are those panels made of that don't melt? Oh, trade secret. Okay, what's the tape made of? Trade secret too. Oh, right. Okay, that's interesting. Did you know the space shuttle, it had ceramic plates at the front and bottom, you know, for when it re-entered orbit, for all of that heat, you know, that all of that heat from that very light, undense, like not dense atmosphere up there, you know, that, well, very slight atmosphere. That very slight atmosphere nonetheless caused lots and lots of heating. Right, okay. So obviously you need something to stop that heating from melting everything. So they put these ceramic plates, and they don't melt, of course. But how did they attach those ceramic plates on? Well, glue, that's how. Well, wait, didn't that glue melt? No, because you see, the outside of the ceramic plates, they contain all the heat there. They don't pass it in, otherwise the whole thing would melt. That. No. All it would have to do is, like, reduce the heat, but it would still melt the glue. What glue did they use? Trade secret, can't tell you. I see somebody else with a wrench. Without a wrench. So you can have a wrench. Give me a second before anybody bans you. 127 watching, 95 thumbs up. Gives us a good estimate of how many of those people are globlings or shitty flatlings. That's right. You see, also this is interesting, and this is a tangent. The shitty flatlings, okay, the Oakleys, the Nodells, those guys, if they don't have information to play with, if they don't have ideas, they have nothing. So they watch channels like these for ideas. That's what they do, because they don't have any. They're deep inside the rabbit holes, the carambes. If they don't have input, they have nothing. They can't go and contemplate things themselves and derive input from the engagement between their mind, their contemplation, and that which is being contemplated. No. So they watch things like this. Ugh. Sad state of affairs. 142 watching. 135 it says here. Okay, but cool. 97 thumbs, cool. Chrissy Liam writes, glad to catch you live, thank you. Mark of Melbourne, greetings. Everybody else, by the way, if I don't say your channel name, don't think that I think I'm not mentioning that one. That's how it goes, guys. It really is. There's so much disinformation in the world of the globe. Well, the whole of the world of the globe is disinformation. In the flat earth, you have the vast majority of it disinformation. You know, the small sun making circles over the earth? That comes from the Flat Earth Society. You know, the small moon making circles over the flat earth? That comes from the Flat Earth Society. Who says that that's true? Mark Sargent, David Weiss, Karen B, all of the main Rob Skiba, all of the religious guys, they all say it. Well, that turns out it's not true at all. And it's demonstrably not true. You see, the whole determination that the sun is about 3,000 miles high and about 30 miles wide, that determination is based, supposedly, on triangulating the sun. It's not really. It's based off the globe Earth's triangulation of the sun, okay, flattening that curvature and saying, and you see, if you flattened it, then you've got a little pyramid, so the sun is very nearby. But you see, the globe didn't actually triangulate the sun. And if you go to triangulate the sun, you find, lo and behold, you can't triangulate the sun. You can do this, guys watching, you can do this with friends. Just decide that you're going to do it one day. Learn about magnetic declination so that you can orient yourselves correctly. Find where each other is so that you can make a triangle between you and north. So you've got a nice, neat triangle, and you're going to use the baseline, so the distance between you and your friend, that baseline is going to be the line from which you triangulate. The north is going to be north. That's allowed you to determine where each other is. So which direction the sun is from you and which direction the sun is from him or her. And lo and behold, it doesn't triangulate at all. Like, it doesn't triangulate. Not even at solar noon. It doesn't triangulate. So what happens? When you find this, you go, huh, all these charlatans, all these D. Murphys, allegedly Dave, talking about a small local sun making circles above the earth, are full of shit. They don't not triangulate because of atmospheric densities bending the light. They don't triangulate because it's not a tangential body. It's not a localized body. It's not a lightning ball. It's not a small ball that's localized and might be tangential but has a specific region in the sky where it is at any one point. So you can't triangulate it. And if you go to triangulate it, you'll see. You go like, wait a second, it doesn't fit. It doesn't match. The azimuth is approximately right, but the elevation's totally wrong. Or the azimuth is wrong and the elevation is wrong. Depends when you're checking. You can check at the equinox if you like. That's a good time to check. Check at the equinox at sunrise. Check at the equinox at solar noon. And check at the equinox at sunset. First, check the equinox properly. You see, you might be in New York and your pal might be in Florida. And you're like, okay, so we're going to do that. Great. It's telling me the equinox is tomorrow. When's the equinox for you? The day after tomorrow. Oh, that's interesting. Or telling me it was 2 days ago. Oh, it's good. Okay. Well, we're going to do it today anyway, right? Right. Okay. So let's go. What's its elevation? On the azimuth? Where is it? Like, well, okay. So we've drawn a straight line to north because we've corrected for magnetic declination. Great. Approximately 90 degrees to the east. Wonderful. That doesn't triangulate. That makes, well, parallel lines that don't meet. That's interesting. It doesn't triangulate. Let's wait until solar noon. So you wait until solar noon. You'll find solar noon doesn't quite happen at the same time as it should if it was a ball of fire in the sky. Okay, it doesn't. Like, okay, so it's my solar noon. Is it your solar noon? No, not yet. Ah, shit. When will it be your solar noon? 20 minutes or so, it looks like. Oh, okay. Right, so we'll check when it's your... Well, wait, I'll take my details now, and you take your details then, and I don't know. Okay, well, I'll take my details now, and you tell me where it is according to you. Okay, here. They don't match. They don't match. My elevation is telling me, and my azimuth is telling me, directly south from me, and the elevation is, I don't know, let's say 45 degrees. 45 degrees. But to you, the azimuth, if it was at a much higher elevation, it might cross, and we might say, aha, it's there, but it isn't. Your elevation is higher, and the azimuth, they don't quite cross. Good Lord, what's going on there? Huh. The sun isn't a tangential body. It doesn't take up space. It's a glare. It's a holoprism. That we don't fully, well, not we, the geophysicists and the astrophysicists haven't figured out about the filaments that manifest gravity and levity and light and radiation. That they haven't figured them out doesn't mean that they're not true. So, like, good Lord, these filaments make a lot of sense. They work when you tabulate everything together, including the various different, well, speeds of things, like the constellations versus the sun. You know, like, that's interesting. You can determine that there are filaments that run, well, they're stars, and then there are different filaments that run, well, the planets, and then there are different filaments that run the sun, and different filaments that run the moon. And these are not filaments that move. These are filaments that are housed within a circle. The thing we call the sun reflects within a range of filaments. Same with the moon, same with the other things. And if you pay attention and you look at, say, Venus, you'll see, like, that's interesting. It looks like we're looking at the end of filaments. That's right, filaments. But they're not filaments like fiber optic cables that are physical fiber optic cables and we're seeing the end of them. No, these are ethereal filaments. So the physicists can't discuss them, because if they do, it sounds a lot like they'd be describing the ether. And they can't describe the ether, because then they don't get any more grants. But I'm not a physicist, and I don't get grants, so I'm going to describe things how they are. And then people can go and check and go, oh, bloody hell, that flat earther was right, and he wasn't even a physicist. Guess who else wasn't even a physicist? Nikola Tesla. Bong! Yes, I love that. I love the fact that Nikola Tesla was not a physicist and didn't even have a degree. That's right, you heard that right. Neither did Einstein, by the way, but Einstein is a bit like the Jesus myth, you know, a conglomeration of stuff. So, and the Muhammad myth, and all of the other religious myths. Einstein was a half-wit, like literally a retarded person, who was used like Hawking, unfortunately, I wheel him in and have the thing play for him. I think, whatever, and I wheel him out. And Einstein was the same thing, just stand here, you know, okay, now move over here, okay, now go over here. And behind them, there were all kinds of people deliberating and conjuring and writing and expressing and convincing others that what they were saying was true and putting it through as if it was coming from Hawking or as if it was coming from Einstein. It's very simple. The Jesuits are used to manipulating society through information that they either offer or withhold or mould. And lo and behold, that's how it happened. The religions are a bunch of shit, and the physics that have been taught regarding our Earth and where we are and how it works, it's also a bunch of bullshit. And it doesn't take long to test it and go, good Lord, well, gravity says objects should fall at the same rate and they don't. Good Lord, magnetism says this should happen and it doesn't. Good Lord, we're supposed to have 2 poles and we don't. Good Lord, light is supposed to be a wave and it isn't. It manifests within filaments that you can see when you split them with a slit. Good Lord. It doesn't travel in straight lines. It diverges. You can't triangulate it because when you try it, you'll triangulate it to whatever the size of your slit is. Your slit is 5 meters wide. You're going to triangulate it at a certain distance. Your slit is 5 centimeters wide. You're going to triangulate it to a much shorter distance. Good Lord. So go and do these things, folks, because it's apart from anything else, it's very interesting, and I'm firmly convinced that when you engage with this kind of idea and you go and check, your brain receives information that other people would call divine. So let's all put our hands together and praise Allah. I mean, Yahweh, Jehovah, Krishna, Zeus, whoever your favorite avatar is. All praise to our favorite avatar. None of our favorite avatars are better than any of the other people's avatars, but secretly ours is the best, whatever that one is. Okay? Okay. Thank you very much for your time. Now I'm going, ciao.